Hey, what's up YouTube? Andrue2 here. Just wanted to talk today about a loot filter for Last Epoch. Now, I'm probably about one cycle too late for this, but I just wanted to get this video out with the link in the description that you can grab this loot filter on. It's on lastepochtools.com. And I just kind of wanted to explain a little bit about this loot filter. I've been using this loot filter the entire cycle, and so far it has given me a lot of really good items. All the items that you see in my build I've used with this one, and it just really makes a lot of sense to have different colors for different things. So one thing to know about Last Epoch loot filter is that items at the very top will supersede items that are beneath it. So what that means is items that are above another item, if you have the exact same sort of rules that enabled with it, what will happen is it'll show the top one without showing the bottom one, unless you have the top one enabled or disabled. And very easily you can enable or disable any of these rules here. There are quite a few rules to kind of go through, so I just wanted to make a video talking more specifically about the reasons why I chose this, and also just to kind of get the loot filter out. I will have a link to the loot filter in the description, so make sure you check that out. You can edit this as much as you want. You can change things, you can remove things, you can duplicate things to add more. If you wanted to, say, add another armor or item that you're looking for, you can definitely do that. And it won't change anything on my end. It'll just be your sort of loot filter to sort of kind of configure to your own realistic expectations. So without further ado, let's jump into the loot filter. Let's jump into what every color means, what every rule is enabled, and why it's enabled. So first and foremost, we're going to always show uniques and set items. That's a very important thing, I feel like, in this game. Showing all different types of uniques, all different types of sets is very good. Once you get to a certain level, you can have a character level dependency where you don't show any of the lower level uniques, but personally, I wouldn't do that just because a lot of the leveling uniques are going to be good if you're going to be making other characters or doing anything like that. The second one is going to be Exalted Experimentals. So I found a few items that have been Exalted Experimental, and they've actually been pretty good. I think I'm using... Yeah, so this item, for example, right? It's considered to be an Exalted Experimental. Because of the sealed affix on the bottom, it has an experimental affix. So if there is an exalted tier, so a level 6 tier or higher, it'll drop with a blue sort of text, and it'll be capitalized so that you can see it easily. So you know that the experimental item that you got does have an exalted affix on it. The next one, we're going to be showing all of the different types of experimental affixes because I like to know what items are there and what I can possibly get when it comes to that sort of a thing. You don't necessarily have to keep this enabled. I just have it enabled by default because I like to have sort of all that information available to me when I need it. Now, this fourth one down here, the green color that's capitalized, the whole point of this, now you can change the color to whatever you want. I just felt like the green was easy because it stands out in a lot of the different backdrops that we have in Last Epoch. So first and foremost, I just want to kind of talk about how you make this sort of rule work best for you. So on this character, I'm playing my Blade Dancer. I wanted to look for a helmet. And more specifically, you go into subtypes and you go into your class and you choose all of these. You can choose a lot of the different types of helmets that can drop. I personally need this one because it gives poison and fire resistance, which is great. And then you can choose affixes on it. So you can choose different types of specifics when it comes to these sorts of things. Now, this one is just going to be the green color. You can obviously duplicate it again if you want to look for another one. Make it a different green, like a darker green if you want. That way there's two sort of stand-out-ish rules that apply to this. So that's an item or a weapon or a piece of armor or a relic or whatever, ring, amulet, anything that you're looking for actively that you would like to have. This is sort of like a singular thing. You can't check multiple things. Like you can't have a helmet and a body armor, for example, right? It'll block out the subtypes. So you can only choose one when it comes to this sort of a thing. The next one is going to be any item that drops with hybrid health on it for shattering is going to appear in red. That way that when it drops, it's going to be, see, like this, right? It's an exalted item, and it's going to drop, and it's in red. So that way I know that this item has hybrid health on it, which is very nice to know because hybrid health is a rare affix, and it's very useful if you want to shatter it and you want to get other items in there as well. All right, so jumping into the armor pieces that are going to be dropping. Now, something to note is when Tier 7 drops, normally there is no sort of distinction between the Tier 7 and a Tier 6 when an exalted item drops. So I created all of these rules here. The only issue is that you need to enable or disable the rule depending on what class you're playing. Obviously, I'm playing a rogue, so I enable the rogue, and I also want to see all of the other classes as well because I feel like getting an opportunity to see other items that drop from other classes, they could have good affixes on them, and I might want to shatter those, and it's very useful just for endgame sort of discovery of different tiers. So this is going to be the capitalized, different pink, brighter pink color. It's going to be only Tier 7. It's the only one I have that is going to be this color, so it's a very easy spot if you're walking around. Next one's going to be a lighter pink. It's going to be 2 affixes at once, as you can see here. Same with the all classes and the rogue. The next one will be a yellow color, like a rare, for example. The reason why I chose this was because it's got 46 selected affixes. So all of these items here, all of these affixes, it's going to be one affix that's greater than level 6. So, for example, like a ring or anything like that would be very good. You can definitely remove this if you like to, but you know, in all actuality, I don't think this will work, to be honest with you. It totally will. It totally will. And what you do, as you can see, I'm just rearranging it that way. You can click it and move it if you want to supersede a different area or a different item, for example. All right, these next ones will be plus skills. So items that give you, +2, +3, +4 to your skill are very important when it comes to shattering items. So I have a white color for rogue skills that are greater affix of level 1 or greater. The reason why we do level 1 is because you have a chance of getting 1 shard back if you shatter an affix or an item. You have a chance of getting that item back. So I figured, hey, let's try to get as many of these shards as we can because they are rare when they come on items. And then the second one is going to be all generic sort of classes. Sorry, all generic class and affixes that are level 6 or greater. So it's just one affix that is an exalted item for your class. The next one we're going to do is going to be, rare exalted non-class weapons. So all of the one-handed, two-handed sort of affixes. These are going to be good sort of rules and affixes that go on these items. It's not going to be every single one. Obviously, we don't have any potions because that's not going to appear on weapons. But it's basically 2 affixes that are level 5 or higher. Will show up in this capitalized purple. One affix that's level 5 or higher will be an orange color. That way, to distinguish between having 2 affixes on an item or 1 affix on an item. And the orange color is basically just a personal preference. You can change this however you'd like to. The same thing goes for the recolor down here, the exalted non-class armor. So anything that's like a boot, a belt, a ring, a glove, an amulet, those sorts of things, those 5 things will be shown in this same color as the 2 affixes up here. Same exact sort of template. 2 affixes, it's capitalized and it has a different color. 1 affix, it's normal and it has a like orange color. Coming down here, we see health and hybrid idols, 2 at once. The reason why we do this is because getting health, increased health, and added health are 2 different affixes in Last Epoch, and finding an item or an idol that has these 2 affixes on them is going to be very massive, because it'll actually give you a ton more HP, because the added HP gets applied by the percentage HP, so you don't have to really necessarily worry too much about overthinking that one. Second one here is going to be resist and health. So if you have resist on your idol plus a health affix on your idol, it'll show up in this capitalized little darker kind of a blue color. The next one is going to be just very basic generic sort of idols, right? These 1x2s or the 2x1s or the 1x1s. These ones will have health, mana, resist, and defensive idols for 2 affixes at the same time. Now you can choose to enable this for like chance to shock on hit, bleed on hit, poison on hit, etc. if you have a build that sort of works in there, and you can definitely change different ones that you want, right? If you only want to see the bleed, you just enable the bleed like that. So other than that, you just need to make sure that your class is selected. I'm playing rogue, so I'm showing the rogue. Hiding all the other idols is very useful, so it doesn't clutter your screen. And yeah, that's basically very simple when it comes to idols. The final part is going to be all these rare items, right? As you can see, there's rares for all classes, 2 good stats, tier 5 or higher. It's going to be, different classes for Mage, Acolyte, Sentinel, Primalist, Rogue. And then these ones down here, which are going to be just generic 3 good stats that are tier 3 or higher, 2 good stats that are tier 3 or higher, or 2 good stats that are tier 2 or higher. These are just while you're leveling up and you want to see as many of the good items as possible. This one I do recommend keeping on all the time, just because if you make a new character, you won't have to worry about clicking this item. But basically, it'll just show you all the items from level 1 to level 10. That way, you have a lot of different items to look through, as well as kind of making sure that you can sell all those items for gold if you need it. And then other than that, we're going to be hiding all of the normal, magic, rare, and exalted items that drop, right? So if you don't have something enabled, the reason why is it'll hide everything else. It'll hide everything at the bottom. So that was basically the rundown on this loot filter. I have used this loot filter for the first cycle. It's been very useful to me, and I just wanted to share this loot filter with everybody else. I will have a description, or a link rather, to this loot filter in the description below. So make sure you check that out. And yeah, make sure you guys watch my other videos that I have. I've got a lot of off-meta builds that I'm doing, and I'm really looking forward to the next cycle. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are on this. If you guys liked it, disliked it, if you're looking forward to the new cycle, if you want me to sort of play a different class maybe that is kind of off meta, that's not really as structured as a bunch of other classes are, let me know. That's what I really enjoyed playing. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.